be doing both, trying to make sure. I guess I'll show these drinks something. Oh. Oh. Oh, my hidden. Taste this. Here we go. Beat. What? Come here. Sucker. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna let him land. Huh?
I said that was not gonna be a good land.
You would have been KO for real.
Yes.
Wait, did I start the video? I did start the video. I forgot. I didn't even know I had started the video yet. Well, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Authority Man. This is 10 WWE matches that should have been stopped. I'm pretty sure it was more than 10. And they only put 10. I mean, damn, that's crazy. That last video got 6 views already. So I'm thinking maybe we do 12 videos today. I'm gonna have to hurry up and get these videos out if we're gonna make it to 12 before 12 o'clock. So let's get right into it.
Are you still Zillowing for the perfect house?
What? No. Maybe, yes.
Well, now you can Zillow a home loan and an agent to get you that house you've been dreaming of. Ooh, I love this for you.
It's a taste of fall, a day not to miss. It's a touch of that and a bit of this.
Werther's Original Limited Edition Harvest Caramels, made with real butter and fresh cream. Discover the original fall flavor.
It's more than sweet, a little piece of bliss.
Now, it's tradition in wrestling that wrestlers push through injuries in order to finish a match and send the fans home happy. However, when some of the injuries that have occurred during WWE's top matches are analysed, a ton of questions are asked as to just why the match was allowed to continue. Whilst it's courageous that the wrestler worked through these injuries, at the end of the day, their well-being should always be WWE's #1 priority.
They usually
to argue against the argument that
get
these 10
themselves
matches should
delayed
have been
at
brought to a
home.
definitive conclusion. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 WWE matches that should have been stopped.
Should have
Be sure
been.
to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, WrestleMania.com. Number 10, Maven vs. Christian. A broken leg is one of the worst injuries a pro wrestler can suffer, and when Maven suffered one in a match against Christian on SmackDown in 2002, WWE made the call to continue the matchup. Maven would discuss the match and injury on his acclaimed
Oh, I was
YouTube
wondering if
series,
that
and
was
this
the
is what
guy.
the former hardcore champion had to say. That makes me cringe. The move is called a baseball slide. Now, I played baseball for probably the better part of 17 years of my life, so the fact that I broke my leg on a baseball slide, that's God proving he has a sense of humor. When you mess an ankle up, what you're doing in essence
When he
is going
does,
to hurt you,
when
and
he
that I
does.
still feel my ankle still swollen to this day. You're tearing up a ton of ligaments, a ton of tendons. The doctor said that both bone breaks will heal in probably 6 to 10 weeks. That's not the issue.
He put in
The
full
ligaments
screen
and
for y'all.
tendons of the ankle, depending on how much you tore those up, that's going to be the true injury, and that's going to decide how long you're sidelined for. Maven went on to praise Christian for his efforts in the match, as a wrestling veteran was constantly checking on him, making sure he was okay. He's not putting any pressure on my neck there, but he's asking me, how hurt are you? Can you continue? Do we need to throw up an X? But I tell him I can finish. Knowing Vince McMahon is sitting back in Gorilla right behind the curtain, there's no way in hell I'm not going to finish this match. Number 9, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho. Now, Triple H has made a career out of working through injuries. In 2001, the game was arguably on the run of his career, as he was in the midst of a top heel tag team with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the two would face the duo of Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho on Raw. During the match, which is widely regarded as one, if not the greatest match in the history of Raw, the game tore his quad. Without question, the match should have been stopped, or at least Triple H should have been taken away for medical attention. Of course, Triple H pushed through the injury and somehow, someway managed to finish the match as originally planned. A similar situation would occur in 2007 when the game tore his quad in a tag match, and yet again the WWE legend continued wrestling without a hitch. Number 8, TLC 4. Thanks to new research over the past decade in relation to concussions, WWE thankfully takes them seriously, and if a wrestler is seriously concussed, then they are pulled from in-ring action. During TLC 4 in 2002, Bubba Ray Dudley suffered a serious concussion when he was bulldogged off a ladder by Chris Jericho. The concussion was so substantial that Bubba didn't have a clue where he was, and Jericho had to literally talk him through each step of the match. If this type of situation occurred in modern-day WWE, then Bubba would have been pulled out of the match with immediate effect. Thankfully, Jericho's professionalism and ability was on full display, as without his guidance, Bubba could have seriously hurt himself. Number 7. Kurt Angle vs. Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle collided in one of the most brutal street fight matches imaginable at the 2001 King of the Ring event. The match was supposed to see Angle suplex McMahon through a panel of glass, and this was intended to be sugar glass, but someone made a huge mistake and accidentally placed plexiglass in the panels. Due to this, McMahon was badly hurt, and due to the horrors of what was unfolding, Vince McMahon himself was getting ready to cancel the match as he was utterly appalled in terms of what he was seeing. Number 6. The Undertaker vs. Goldberg. Heading into the Undertaker vs. Goldberg match at Super Showdown 2019, there was obvious concern that the match was going to be less than stellar. Both men, despite being absolute legends, were way past their respective prime, and for the match to work, it was going to need to be brief and to the point. Unfortunately, Goldberg reportedly knocked himself out during the match, and the match fell apart. The moment that the referee realized that Goldberg was knocked out, the match should have been brought to a close, as what followed made for rather uncomfortable viewing. The match turned into a total botch fest, and it was a miracle that both men came out of the match alive, as they were dropped on their heads numerous times throughout the match. According to Goldberg on Twitter, even though he was knocked out, he believed he could finish the match. Knocked myself out and thought I could finish. Love my fans, but let you down. Everyone else that found pleasure, hope you're happy. Both men have spoken about their regrets when it comes to that match, and thankfully WWE would learn their lesson, as following the match they would only pair the two wrestlers with talents who were in a position to carry them through a passable and, more importantly, safe matchup. Number 5. Eddie Guerrero vs. JBL. In 2004, WWE presented one of the bloodiest matches in their history, as Eddie Guerrero defended the WWE title against JBL at the Judgment Day pay-per-view. This was the infamous match in which Guerrero delivered one of the scariest blade jobs ever, as he bladed too deep in the process he sliced a major artery. The bloodshed on display was like nothing seen before in WWE programming, as it was everywhere. Although it was memorable, it was arguably too much, and Guerrero was losing blood at a terrifying rate, and he needed immediate medical assistance. Number 4. The Rock vs. Kurt Angle vs. Triple H.
Watch football all season long, live.
I don't know if I could play. Like,
SummerSlam 2000 was main evented by a WWE
I don't think I would
title
want
match
to.
between The Rock,
I
Kurt
could,
Angle,
though,
and Triple H.
but,
The match is
yeah.
infamous for
I would
a
try to
dreaded
find
injury that
another
occurred
way.
to Angle during the match.
Maybe
that
get one of
should
those
bring Angle's
packets,
involvement
put
in
it
the
in my
match
mouth,
to a
and then
definitive end.
act
The
like
injury
I was
occurred when
bleeding
Triple
from
H
the mouth.
performed a pedigree onto Angle through the announce table, and the issue was that the table gave way, meaning that Angle's head hit the concrete. Angle was knocked senseless, and despite WWE delivering a scripted spot where Angle would head to the backstage area, he somehow managed to come back out and finish the match. The head of WWE
Damn.
creative Triple H even admitted that none of this should have occurred during an interview on Logan Paul's podcast. Now
Compulsive.
this is where the story gets terrible, because now we know about the concussions and everything else. None of this should have ever happened.
Oh yeah, that's when they
We know
said
this at the time.
Kurt Angle got
You know,
knocked
Kurt
out.
goes into the back.
And he forgot where
Mark
he
and I are just
was.
working now. At some point, we're getting feedback from the back through the referee, and finally, it was Earl Hebner. I just tell Earl, do not tell me one thing. With a lot of expletives in here, they said from the back, I don't give a shit. I need one thing. Tell me if he's coming back, if he knows where he is. That's it. That's all I need to know, and tell me when. We'll just keep going until someone tells me he can come out or he ain't coming out. I'll figure out a finish. Number 3, The Undertaker vs. Mankind.
That's crazy, man.
Every wrestling
They
fan
used to
can
be in
recall the
there
thrilling
just
visual of Mankind being thrown
coming
out
up
of
with the
cell by
Indian,
the Undertaker.
like,
But upon further
on
inspection, it's clear
point,
that the match
like-
should have ended right there. The bump itself is so famous that if WWE
I
stopped
can't
the
do
match
that.
right there
I be
due to
playing
logistical
wrestling
safety
games, but
concerns
I
for
already know the
Mankind,
finish before it
it's likely
happens.
that WWE would avoid the backlash. If the match had stopped, then Mankind would have avoided one of the scariest and unscripted spots in company history. When Taker chokeslammed Mankind through the cell, the roof was never supposed to give in, and according to Mankind, the bump was so dangerous that he could have died. Number 2, Survivor Series 2002
Crazy it kept
Elimination
going.
Chamber. The
I think they
2002
they
Survivor
said
Series
that
featured the
under
first ever Elimination Chamber, and Triple H suffered a
under
major
the
injury in the match that
what
led
would
him
you
to
call
being
it, the
rushed to
ring or
hospital.
the
One of the most famous
announce
spots of the
table,
match saw Rob
they
Van Dam
got
perform a 5-star frog
like
splash
a
from the top
big
of the chamber
balloon
pod
under
onto
there
Triple H.
to
The
stop the
move
fall, like
unfortunately didn't go to plan as RVD Shin came across the
a
game's
water
throat.
bed,
The way Triple
that
H
type
sold
of
the move
balloon.
wasn't a case of him acting, that was legitimate, genuine pain that the game was in. According to Triple H, he was struggling to breathe and there was concern that he could have died in the matchup. The match should have come to a close that the game could be checked over, and WWE with the talents in the match could have easily come up with a brand new improvised finish. And for one,
They could have
Brock
just said,
Lesnar versus The Undertaker.
oh,
When
I think they
WWE
wanted
arrived at WrestleMania
Shawn
30,
Michaels to
it was an
pin Triple
exception that The
H.
Undertaker would have an all-time classic at WrestleMania. However, at that WrestleMania, Father Time began to catch up with the Dead Man. Early on in the match with Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker suffered a concussion, and this wasn't obvious from initial viewing, as it looked like the Dead Man was selling, but the concussion was severe. During an appearance on Broken Skull Sessions, the Dead Man discussed just how serious the concussion was. Somewhere within the first 5 minutes, I get concussed. I don't even remember this night. I watch it back now and obviously know. My last memory that I can definitively tell you happened at about 3:30 in the afternoon when my wife came backstage and we had a conversation. That's the last thing I remember on my show about that day. At this point in my career, there's a huge process of me getting ready between the stretching, visiting the doctors, doing everything I need to get myself ready to perform. An hour
He
and a
looked
half
like he didn't know
two-hour
where he
process
was at
that's
the whole
completely
match.
gone. My
I
memory
thought
picks
that
up
was just him acting.
4:35 in the morning when I'm in hospital. Whilst The Undertaker's injury in the match did lead to questions relating why WWE didn't stop the match, it later surfaced that when the Dead Man appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience, that he went into the match with a broken neck, meaning that if WWE delivered effective medical testing on the Dead Man, then he wouldn't have been cleared for the match. The doctors take me back. My wife Michelle McCool and Vince McMahon are there in the waiting room. They come out, it's the same kind of deal. The doctors go, alright, he's broken his neck and we're going to give him another scan. Obviously my wife is completely freaking out at this point. We come to find out they had read the scans wrong. It was an old break that I never knew I had. I never knew it. But there you have it, folks. 10 WWE matches that should have been stopped.
That's
Leave
crazy.
your comments down below. I'll
I
see you
didn't
next time
expect
with
all
some
that.
more
I expected a lot more though.
content.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I thought they would have said Shawn Michaels for sure, but they didn't. So thank y'all for watching.